Previously on X-Men.
If you're like me, growing up in the 80s, you loved looking at Professor X and his band of mutants and their enemies on the pages of comic books. Then we had a real treat on Saturday mornings in the 90s watching them come to life in this 2D animation. Well, as an adult, I watched them come to life for real in these amazing 3D sculptures. Let's take a look at every single one today.
Give it to you. Wait for you to get it on your own.
Thanks for tuning in to look at my X-Men statue collection. This video is a subset of videos as part of a huge room tour of my collectibles. They include high-end statues, autographed memorabilia, and comics. If you want to check out the big tour, check out this video right here. But today we're going to get into detail of just the X-Men pieces. So we're going to talk about three things today. One, the cases, the display cases these are on. These are called Maji cases. Here's a video you can check out on Maji cases. Number two, we're going to look at some of the graded comics. I really like to pair statues with comics. And number three, we're going to look at each of these statues. Most of them are by custom manufacturers. They mean they're a private unlicensed commission. They make a small run of them. Disney or whoever owns Marvel did not approve of that. A few of them are made by licensed companies who did get the licensing rights. So with that, let's dive right in. And all of these I have individual videos on you can go back and check out. And we're just going to go left to right, starting with the 6.5 graded giant size X-Men slab. Number one. You know, unfortunately, most of these comics I actually bought when comics were a lot of money. They still are to an extent, but the market is really bad on most collectibles right now. But we're going to start with the X-Men vs. Sentinel at the top. So I like the top. They're all fighting Sentinels, kind of the theme. And we have this Iceman. This is a custom. It was actually a really controversial one, not only due to the size, but some didn't work really well together. Mine is one of my favorite pieces. I love how dynamic it is. He's on the ice bridge. It's just something that you rarely find something this elaborate on a statue. He's freezing a Sentinel hand that's scaled correctly, in my opinion. All of these are quarter scale, meaning 4 times smaller than a real life version. We have Storm flying behind him. This is made by XM Studios. It's an older piece, about 5 years old. One of my favorites. Was really highly sought after for a long time. While she isn't fighting an X-Men, I think she works really well with this scene. Next, made by the same custom manufacturer as the Iceman, is a Cyclops. He is blasting through a Sentinel hand as well, similar size. The optic blast is amazing to me. You can even see scarring on his face. Little Easter egg, hidden rat. Another custom piece, different manufacturer, is Banshee flying through the head of a Sentinel. If you're wondering, these statues, especially these larger ones, are anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 each. One of my favorites, Rogue, is actually tearing this statue in half, or this Sentinel in half. Showing her power. Another custom. And I do have some spotlights, I just don't have them on right now. I probably should for this review. Made by XM Studios is a Gambit piece next to Rogue. We'll share. And a little bit of a Sentinel piece on the bottom. Again, this is made by a licensed studio. I do have Nimrod coming in and a Morph. So if you like that stuff, stay tuned and subscribe to this channel because I'll do detailed reviews. This is a custom Nightcrawler. Not fighting a Sentinel, but I have it up top due to the height of the statue. But it's pretty cool, using his BAMF teleportation coming through. And all these statues have different display options. You're actually going to see that for this Juggernaut versus Colossus diorama. So, Juggernaut's without his shirt, and just as a spoiler, here's actually a switch-out torso where he could have his magical armor on. And there's his helmet. He's fighting Colossus. But they have portraits or torsos or switch-out arms. And then they're on a Sentinel body with Kitty Pryde sucking Juggernaut in the back. Here we have one of my favorite pieces in my collection. One of my first Magneto X-Men vs. Sentinel pieces is this Magneto statue. So you see Professor X's wheelchair, Wolverine's bones, Cerebro helmet, again a Sentinel hand. This one also has switch out torsos and portraits, has light up features. Those are both custom. We have a custom Archangel back there. I also have a X-Men #1 reissue of the Reborn to pair with the Magneto. And then XM Studios made this Dark Phoenix statue. So if you haven't figured out the flow, it was X-Men, villains. Then we're going to move down here where we stick with the villains. I believe these are all custom. A custom Omega Red with X-Men #5, I believe that was. Slab. Some more slabs back there. Mr. Sinister and Madeline Pryor. Custom statue. Sabretooth, Sins of the Father, his own series, slabs back there. A custom Sabretooth. This is probably one of my top, this is definitely one of my top 5 statues in my collection, if not my top 3. Down here you have the whole gang with a pyro that my wife actually painted. Right in front of a blob. See, and you can see a switch out torso for the pyro back there. Here is Toad. Awesome, awesome piece. Avalanche. And then a Mystique going through some transformation. Again, lots of switch outs. She's changing into Rogue and Psylocke. And we're going to transition back to, I don't want to say miscellaneous, but a few different things. Almost an X-Force vibe. We have XM Studios made this Cable and Hope. I'd love to get a Deadpool, X-Force specific related Deadpool. I used to own about 4 Deadpool statues. I've owned hundreds of statues I no longer own. Then you have a Domino, custom Domino. Then moving back up, we have signed by Stan Lee, Wolverine claws. Professor X by XM Studios. And his chair has a cool light up feature. A custom Beast for Sentinel. A little bit different take on the Sentinel hand, so I have it separated from everything else because it doesn't really match. And then we have the ladies versus the Sentinels. And then we're going to go into Wolverine and finish it off. So first we have a Psylocke versus Sentinel. So the Sentinel hand, you can tell it matches the Iceman, the Rogue, the Cyclops. She just cut it in half. You can actually see the scoring on it with her psionic blade. She has kind of this runway walk. Even after all these years, this is still one of my favorite pieces too. I have a lot of favorites. Nestled in the back is an X-23 on a Sentinel hand. It actually has a matching Wolverine counterpart we're going to look at in a moment. Then we have a Jubilee with a Sentinel foot. A little bit different. Then we move into Wolverine. So back there, a few graded comics. You have a X-Men #4. And you have a Sideshow Wolverine vs. Sentinel hand. This is the matching one for that X-23. You also have a Hulk 13, where Wolverine has a Hulk in the adamantium blades. You have a custom chubby Wolverine, Nom Nom. So these are different variations of Wolverine. And after Deadpool 3, it's like they could have raided my cabinet here. I can't remember who makes this one. I think it's like X Toys. Then down below, we have a custom This one also has a light up feature. I have to take the acrylic panel off and of the display case and hit a button. Floating in the chamber, along with Weapon X comic back there. And then 3 custom Wolverine statues. One, this is called the Devil. It's kind of when he's out in the wilderness. And a number of portraits. You can see the portrait displays right there. And another torso in the back. And if you look at, all of these are custom painted, so not factory painted. You can tell by just looking at the quality. Right there you have Soldier Wolverine. This one also has tons of different display options. Also notice these 2 have bone claws, which I think is cool. You can switch them out with metal claws. And then also one with multiple torsos. You can actually see the Samurai torso down here. Samurai Wolverine, which has a crazy story. Make sure to check out that video. But super impressive. 4 or 5 portraits and 2 amazing torsos. And this one actually has an elaborate tattoo on the back. Has a tree switch out too that just doesn't fit in the display case. So I have a morph coming in, which I plan to put where the Wolverine claws are. Nimrod, trying to figure that out. Then maybe a Deadpool. And then my wife is also painting this Wolverine, which I'm going to figure out where to put that in the case. But if you like stuff like this, first check the links in the description. Second, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, and check out some of the other room tours. Thanks so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Yes, we're still giving away $1,000 statues at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. You have to make sure you're subbed to the channel, you like the video, and then leave a comment. We're going to pick a random comment on a random video and give away those statues. In the meantime, check out some of these other videos and my social media. Talk to you soon. Take care.